A good education is vital to success in life, and the most successful people continue to learn and acquire new skills throughout their lives. But what happens if a person is having trouble learning something and isn't reaching their goals? Applied Scholastics offers materials and services to assist students and adults of all ages who experience difficulty when studying or learning. Maybe your employer required you to get certified on a new program, and you found the experience daunting. Maybe you decided to finally go back to school and get your degree, only to discover that you've forgotten so much that it seems a bit overwhelming. Maybe you have a child who is having trouble in school. You've noticed their comprehension skills are poor, or they struggle to complete homework assignments. Or maybe they're considered unruly in class. They talk too much, can't pay attention, or they have behavioral problems. Not only are you unsure of why these things occur, but you don't know what to do about it. We can help. Applied Scholastics is different from all other educational services because we provide you with the tools you need to properly identify and handle the underlying cause of any learning or study difficulty. These are a few common examples of things that people encounter when learning. How many have you experienced or observed in another? You got to the end of a page and couldn't remember what you just read. You got really bored during a class or an in-service training day. You got confused or annoyed after someone gave you instructions on how to do something. You got antsy or frustrated when researching a project and felt like crying. You doodled all over your notepad during a seminar and realized you weren't listening at all. It might surprise you, but all these are examples of learning barriers, and they happen to everyone to some degree or another. When you understand there are barriers, what they are, why they occur, and how to remedy them, any difficulty can be easily handled and overcome. Some of this may seem like common sense to you, and perhaps you even feel that you know some of this already. But if you're open to learning new things, the remainder of this video will help you understand exactly what these barriers are and when and why they occur. The first barrier occurs when you don't have the real thing, the mass of what you are learning about. Here's an example. You read an article about a tsunami that happened in Sri Lanka. From the article, you know that Sri Lanka is an island country in South Asia with over 20 million people, and the tsunami was the result of an earthquake in the Indian Ocean. You have facts, and you understand these facts. What you don't have is a clear idea of where in South Asia Sri Lanka is located, or even its size. You have no mass. When this happens, there are a variety of ways that an absence of mass can make a person feel, including stomach feeling funny, sort of spinny, sort of lifeless, eyes hurt, bent, squashed, headache, dizzy, angry, bored. In case you happen to have felt any of these ways, even a little bit, after our example, here's the mass to help you see where Sri Lanka is located. Now, this doesn't just happen when one is reading. It can happen anytime one doesn't have the mass of what is being read or heard. Words aren't mass. Words only represent the real things of life. There are many ways that mass can be provided. The map shown in the earlier example is just one way. The second barrier occurs when learning is not done step by step on a smooth gradient. This means that the next step of something is attempted before the previous step is fully understood. So the next step seems difficult, and one feels confused or overwhelmed. Try this. Grab 4 pens or pencils that you have nearby. Now juggle with all 4 of them. Unless you already know how to juggle, performing this task might prove difficult. The gradient is much too steep. You would need to learn and practice at how to handle one pen back and forth in your hands without dropping it, and then move on to 2 pens and get good at that before you were able to practice and then juggle 3 of those pens. It would take quite a bit of practice with just 3 before you felt confident to attempt juggling all 4 pens. Elementary school math is a good example of where gradients tend to be skipped or are too steep. A child who does not master subtraction and multiplication will have a terrible time trying to learn division. No matter how many worksheets you give the student, if he doesn't understand the earlier concepts fully, division will continue to be confusing and difficult. Division may be the thing he is having trouble with now, but the trouble is actually earlier. If that student is then allowed to move on to fractions without handling the earlier confusions, he will not be successful. He doesn't have the solid foundation needed for higher level concepts. Unfortunately, school systems allow for students to pass from one thing to another with a minimum proficiency of 60% in a subject. That's a lot of missing data. Would you let a doctor operate on you that only got 60% on their medical boards? No way. Would you pay a mechanic to work on your car if they only knew 60% of how to do a tune-up? Passing a test doesn't automatically give one an ability to do something. Actual proficiency comes when the fundamental concepts are understood and can be applied 100%. This is achieved on a gradient basis. The third barrier is the most important, as it can actually stop a person from learning. It is the misunderstood word. Words are an important part of life. They are how we communicate and share ideas with one another through both spoken and written language. Words have very specific meanings. Many words have multiple meanings. For example, a simple word like run has 33 different definitions listed in the Macmillan Dictionary for Students. Now, if one is talking and means definition number 5, and the other person thinks they are talking about definition number 1, they are not really talking about the same thing, are they? Our language is made up of many definitions for words, and a misunderstood word occurs when a word is not understood or is wrongly understood. Here's an example. The kite flew high in the sky. It looked beautiful and graceful as it dipped and soared. It must have been hungry and looking for its dinner. For most people, the misunderstood word here is kite. It is a familiar word, and we know what a kite is. Did you imagine something like this? That's not right. Toys don't get hungry and look for dinner. Some people might say that the passage is stupid. Doesn't make sense. It must be a typo. Well, there is another definition for kite. A kite is a bird with long pointed wings that preys on insects and small animals. That makes much more sense and is a simple demonstration of how a misunderstood word can be wrongly understood by not knowing a second definition for kite. It is not that the sentence was confusing, it was just an incorrect definition. Here's another example. Let's say you were asked to draw a picture. In that picture, you were asked to draw a house, then to draw a large tree next to that house, and a few white fluffy clouds floating in the sky. Then a kite floating in the sky. Either kind of kite will work here. Then you were asked to add a dub to your picture. D-U-B, dub. Could you complete the picture? Do you feel stopped? Do you feel blank? You have no idea what is being asked for. Maybe you yawned. Maybe you feel like you want to go get a cup of coffee or do something else right now. Maybe you even feel a little bit stupid or annoyed. Are you trying to guess at what a dub is? A dub is a Scottish word for a small puddle or pool of water. Can you complete the picture now? You can see how just one misunderstood word can stop a person from understanding and completing things. From this example, it becomes clear that understanding the meanings of words is essential to learning and functioning in life. All comprehension difficulties stem from this barrier. Knowing how to spot and handle misunderstood words is the key to handling any comprehension or learning problems one may have in any subject. What you have seen are many of the difficulties that one can encounter when learning or studying, and you now know the exact barriers that prevent learning. This information is just one part of a methodology called study technology, which not only provides tools on how to recognize these barriers when they occur, but most importantly, provides the exact solutions for how to effectively handle and overcome them. Applied Scholastics has spent nearly 5 decades training teachers, parents, and students all over the world effective study skills and how to learn, utilizing the study technology developed by author, educator, and humanitarian L. Ron Hubbard. To date, Applied Scholastics has helped over 56 million people in 110 countries be better teachers and students by utilizing this remarkable methodology. With study technology, you can learn anything you want to learn, and Applied Scholastics is dedicated to helping you achieve your goals in school, in work, and in life. Introductory courses on study technology are available to you online. Go to appliedstudyskills.org and start improving your learning skills today.